r/AskReddit, managers of Reddit, what's the worst thing an employee has done to get themselves fired? Early 20s kid disappeared for a week on a heroin binge. His friends dropped him off in the middle of the day the next week, walking into the office high off his balls as if nothing happened. The next day his dad came to apologize, explain what happened, let us know that he was going back to rehab, and ask if he could continue working afterwards. Poor dad. I'm not a manager but an employee of an airport cargo handling company. We had a guy, crash a brand new jet engine air start unit into a jet engine. Bosses were not happy. But did the engine start? Literally just shoveled money out of the cash register into his pockets with 3 separate cameras looking at him. He took several $1,000s. How quickly was it discovered? Was the money recovered? He asked a co-worker in the parking lot if he could pay him to complete his assigned work. He faked it through the interview process and was a terrible hire. Dumbest, maybe not the worst, a mechanic in my chemical plant wrapped expensive copper tubing around his chest and put his coat over it. It was a really cold day and it started drawing up to where he couldn't breathe, just as he got to the guard gate. The guards had a good laugh unwinding the soon-to-be unemployed mechanic. What was the thought process behind this? I assume an attempt to steal the copper? Sexually harassing the 17-year-old daughter of the best friend of the business owner is a pretty special way to get fired. Deleted. I wasn't the manager but when I was in retail, I was training a new guy. Seemed okay, but during the first break we were in the break room just making small talk and he just says, "So, do you shave your pussy?" I just got up and went to the manager's office, word beat me there, I was told to take the rest of the day paid. Never saw him again. That's bold. Was he on drugs, or WTF was wrong with him? Not a manager but a carpenter with several employees, but I had a worker doing a window replacement in a person's home. The room he was working in had a fully stocked bar. Employee drank a $400 bottle of liquor and homeowner found him passed out in their guest room. Good for him for not drinking and driving. I don't remember the circumstances but an employee slapped our general manager and walked out. No, the police weren't called, probably because the GM was doing a lot of shady shit and that's probably why he got slapped. We didn't call the cops, because he deserved it, LMAO. Supposed to drive a car from one city to another on a Friday. Probably 2-hour trip. Took it to Mexico and partied for a weekend and delivered the car on Monday. This was not even a border state. Now that's just impressive. I had an employee pull out a bag of meth and ask another employee if he wanted to smoke some of it. Another employee was supposed to go canvassing in a company car. After hours of being gone and not answering phone calls, the police called from a county 3 hours away to inform me that the employee had crashed the car because he was high on heroin and I needed to make arrangements to pick up the totaled car. Oof. Bank. One guy managed the dormant accounts. Incredibly nice guy, everyone loved him, had been there for years. One day, after an audit, it was discovered that he'd been embezzling money from the dormant accounts for quite some time. Turns out he'd gotten himself into debt he couldn't climb out of and that was his solution. Not only did he get fired, he went to prison. He was perpetually late, uncommunicative, and constantly on his phone. Then he threw an exceedingly loud and public temper tantrum that I got promoted instead of him despite his seniority. Got mildly injured by the garage door in the warehouse after fucking around. Agreed to go to the hospital after his supervisor very clearly told him there would be a drug test and he didn't have to go to the hospital. And that he would be fired if he tested positive on the drug test. Remember, this was a mild injury. Like a small scrape. Saying this as a coworker who saw it, not a boss trying to downplay. Guess who got fired? CEO walked into his office while he was masturbating. She was not happy with how he was using his time. Not even in a bathroom stall. Former assistant used his mom as a reference, different last name. I should have caught it when she said she felt like she'd known him from birth, had none of the skills he promised. Final straw when he ordered himself a $75 gaming mouse for the computer and a birthday cake scented candle. After being fired, he left me a Yelp review telling people I was the meanest, craziest boss ever. Bless his heart. Oh, I have two. One was a supervisor that got busted in a police sting operation involving meeting up with minors at a park via a Craigslist ad. The other was this guy that left work one night, chainsawed a hole in his pregnant ex-GF's apartment door and started shooting. The baby and the baby's dad died, the ex-GF lived. Guy Xerox copied multiple pics of his D at #K, put them in envelopes, and placed them under the windshield wipers of the female employees. Total creep. Guy was just hired, he asked to go home on his second day because he shit his pants. Alright, Shit happens, a little TMI, but what can you do? He must be an honest soul. Went home for the afternoon, came in on the third day, shit his pants again and asked to go home. There was no fourth day. I would like to be clear. I do not approve of this behavior. This did however make me laugh so hard. How about you go shit your pants at home from now on? Removing the high limit switch on a dryer causing the clothes to catch on fire. Twice. First job in insurance, weird guy wanted to be in SU, the team that investigates fraud. He got it in his head that, rather than investigating external fraud as part of the claims department, they were a kind of clandestine CIA operation who were listening in on our phone calls and you could get tapped to join if you were smart enough and hard-working enough. He was fired for sleeping at his desk repeatedly. SU is more like FBI. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again. Reddit glitch out.